20s to middle-aged to elderly lesbians. That's my demographic. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is my demographic. They love me, I love them. It's a mutual love that happens. I literally dyed a purple, a white t-shirt, made it into a bodysuit, super glued it together, dyed it purple, put KP and stones across it, and had I bought £50 worth of peacock feathers off eBay and glued them to the back of it. This show is 110% Scottish, so if you think we're talking too fast, then make sure to slow it down with the playback speed button on whatever platform you're listening on. And last but not least, there's definitely offensive language featured, so if you're a minor or a pussy, switch off now. Another day, another dollar. Welcome back, my darlings, for a new episode of What's the Goss. As usual, hello, Ocean Lee.
Hello, baby.
And clicks for Chloe in the back.
I'm going to get any nails because obviously I'm a lesbian, but my thumbs are smacking together.
The audio listeners would have no clue whose nails that was, but let's just keep it the Ocean's
Clicks for Chloe.
Ocean's been was about 15 the last time she had a set of acrylics. Anyway,
no, I was a bit older than that. I was like 19. Nah, I wasn't. I was in Australia.
Nice top.
Oh, nice top. Thanks very much.
Top. I wonder.
This South Stand clothing, baby.
I would have worn one of your jumpers, but I've not ordered one yet.
Well, isn't that? Look at that for a lack of support. Anyway, the South Stand clothing, for those of you who like football, in particular, anyone who's watching this that just so happens to support Sunderland.
We should do. We just pretend. This podcast is brought to you by the South Stand clothing. If you need Sunderland efficient football wear that isn't quite literally a strip and it's designed fashionably for the everyday user, shop South Stand clothing.
I love that we had in the middle. Anyway, we've actually got some shout outs to start with. So our mum FaceTimed us the other day with our nephew, and apparently he's a big fan of the show. Didn't know
he loves it. His aunties have a TV show, so he thinks
he's
dog.
fully involved. Did not know that 6-year-olds love to watch us gossip about celebrities.
Did not know that this is self-produced. But we're not
but
I
apparently just sat with my mum the whole other night, just literally smiling and nodding at the telly. So just wanted to say, love you, Riley.
Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Evie.
Shout out to Evie. Shout out to Joey, even though he probably does not think this is cool at all.
Joey's at the age where he's like too cool to be listening to his aunties on a podcast.
I know, he barely talks to us on FaceTime. Really,
Riley's peak age of loving it.
Riley's peak age of actually loving his aunties, and Joey's peak age of kind of bored on FaceTime. So here we are. Anyway, love you, Riley. Love you, Evie. Love you, Joey. Love you, Remy. Like, we've actually got to get them all out there.
I know, and this is actually not a podcast for the kids anyway. Thank God they've no idea what we're talking about.
Thank God. I mean, really, they shouldn't be watching it. Remy has no idea anyway. She just literally just bounces about the house of my auntie. So
True. Anyway, this week has been quite eventful. Oh my God, right, so I started back vlogging this week, guys, which I'm actually pure proud of myself. How weird's this? Time to tell you this. So I've edited vlog 2 yesterday, and it was exactly the same length as vlog 1. How weird is that?
Exactly.
26 minutes and something.
That's actually mental.
Not to the second.
The
but
vlogs
to
have
the
been funny. See, when B first moved here, she actually used to vlog. So B moved here 6 months before I did, and she used to vlog in that 6 months.
And honestly, guys, I called it Tranny Down Under, but 2025. 2025.
Just heard that name for the first time.
To myself,
probably not worth it. We'll just go with BB Baddies.
Weekly vlog is an independent artist.
I know. So that's on B's music channel. But lots been happening with B's music recently.
No, so
we actually went to Trans Central last week.
Yeah, so it's end of Pride Month. That was really annoying. Actually, what was your bottle? Yeah. So Pride Month finished off, guys, and it was a fabulous month. And I'm actually buzzing because this is the first year in many years that I've been fully participant in the Pride events. So, like 2 weeks ago, we had Trans Central, which was at Hayley Mary's. It was actually so good.
That was such a good night.
Oh my God.
Do you know what is where I was like that going after work, and I was like, oh my God, I'm knackered. I don't even know. Then I got there, on the dance floor, tearing it up, baby.
It was so good. So basically, Hayley Mary's is like one of the venues that I perform at in the Gold Coast, and I just love everyone there. Such a good time. Everybody that owns, like the people that own it and all that's so nice, right? So if you're ever in the Gold Coast, you need to go to Hayley Mary's. But we had, so basically in the afternoon they had like a women's event. So like basically it was just full of the lesbians were out to play, guys.
Aye, they were. Even when we first got there was so many lesbians everywhere.
Oh, it was lesbian central, right? And it was just like, oh my God, yes. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, I didn't know you could get that many lesbians in the one room. It was actually iconic, right? But I was so gagged. So I rocked up. Obviously, so I think I rocked up at like maybe 4 o'clock, and I wasn't performing until like the Trans Central started at 7 p.m. So I wasn't performing till like, what time did that start?
Probably 8.
Yeah, I can't even remember, right? But I was just like, do you know what? I've got 2 outfits. I want to get there before everybody else does, so that I can get my stuff in the backstage. That backstage is like that size, so I wanted to get myself in there first and get sorted. So, but I rocked up and I had joggies. I had literally like a joggies. Do you know what I looked like? Despicable Me. See the guy that wears the orange tracksuit and has the bob like that. So I'd put my wig on and my wig was all pinned up in pink curls, right? Then I had fucking the jogger on, but obviously it wasn't orange, thank God, because I'd died. It's like a cream colour, but exact same cut, and I just thought never again will I wear that in public, actually. And I did. Obviously, when I get to shows that early, I wasn't really expecting it to be that mob, but like I forgot there was an event on, and I am not joking. It was wall to wall with the lesbians.
Yeah, because normally it's like your event is,
but they were loving
event
me
of the
and
day.
like listen, middle like from 20s to middle aged to elderly lesbians. That's my demographic. Do you know what I mean? Like that is my demographic. They love me, I love them. It's a mutual love that happens. Do you know what I mean? I was getting pulled left, right, and centre for
Guys,
I
I'm
was
not
loving
being
it.
funny. See, by the time we got there, what time did we get there? 7. I think we got there at 7. By the time we got there at 7, B was obviously fully ready, out and about, mingling. She was a full
Oh
celebrity.
my God. And then I forgot to give people Instagram. And then because I'm Scottish, obviously music's so loud and I'm like trying not to scream because I've literally got to perform in a few hours. I was trying to, what's it called? Say my Instagram name.
Mhm.
But I couldn't fucking say, like I was trying to say, but they couldn't understand the word I was saying. Because obviously the accent, loud noise was not working
Well,
out.
by the time we
I'm
got
gonna
there,
get
she
a
was an
QR
actual
code.
celebrity. She was getting pulled everywhere.
But everyone was so nice. Loved that. So many
Oh, you
pictures.
should get a QR code.
I know I'm going to. I know, or just put it as my lock screen. I'm going to do that. So like, here it is in case, because people always ask me, and I'm like, BB Amadeus, and they're like, what did she just say? But
yeah,
Yeah,
and
it was
also
really
it's
good.
a bit of an out there name, BB Amadeus. Like,
and then bloody went to perform the first song. So I done 2. I done Rihanna, Don't Stop the Music is my second one, but the first one was Miley Cyrus, Stevie Nicks, like Edge of Midnight. And oh my God, right, the mic. So obviously I gave them like the mic stand that they had it all out there, but I just
and obviously because as we
No.
said, wall to wall lesbians all fancied B. The
It's-
crowd was right at the front,
it
ready.
was packed, right? Packed out. And fucking. Obviously, there's just so many people on working with the like the entertainment, the DJs, all that. So just mix up. Not one person put on the mic. The
No
mic
one was actually singing.
No one was singing, so like no, didn't need the other mic. So obviously the mic was turned off. Apart from me, I was singing, get that mic turned on. So kind of worked out well because literally, thank the Lord, thank the performing gods, because as soon as that mic turned on and I went to hit that note, I didn't know what was about to happen, but worked out good. I bet
I
smashed
was-
it. Clicks all round.
Clicks
It
all
was
round. It
banging.
was
The
so
crowd
good.
was going absolutely bush. It was just packed.
I've just been loving coming there to watch you recently because the Gold Coast is, well, I once actually the once had an American man describe it to me as a shit Miami, but it's basically like, I don't know, everywhere you go, you always have to be so done up, and obviously we go to Hail Mary's and we get done up, but the vibe's different. Like I feel like it's like almost like the closest feeling to being at a pub back home that you can get. For me, anyway.
It's
Not
just
in
so
terms
warm
of
and
the-
welcoming, like the vibe.
I just
innit?
mean like the vibe, like in terms of like going out back home and like, just the vibe, going out, welcoming. Everyone's there, everyone's having a good time. Like I don't really get that elsewhere in the Gold Coast
So
because
good.
a lot of it, it's rife with like obviously influencers and all that kind of stuff. But with that means that everybody's kind of on their best behaviour a lot of the time. But I feel like in there, everybody just has the best time, no
They
matter
just
who they are.
let loose, have a good
Mm-hmm.
time. So shout out to Hayley Mary's. Thanks for having me as usual. Always a pleasure, never a chore, darlings, as usual. But what else? I've got a few. I'll have a few. Oh, I've
Well,
got,
you've got your launch party,
Yeah.
next week.
next Friday launch party. I need to actually like, get onto sharing that. But yeah, next Friday. I did tell loads of people the last weeks I've been performing. Like everyone's come. I'm like, come next Friday, 11th of July launch
Mhm.
party. So
But you're
I
going to
reckon
have
we'll
to
be
get
there
that
to
one
get that.
popping off because that's going to be so much fun doing the new song launch.
yeah, super fun. And I think, yeah, here we go. So that'll be a great time. So.
And you should tell them that the song's going to be debuting back home as well.
Oh my God, yeah. So it's going to be on Now Ayrshire Radio. It should be on this week at some point. I need to actually figure it out. But tune in to Now Ayrshire Radio with Danielle McLaughlin because she's going to
Mhm.
be the one posting it all
And
up.
you've
and out
got an
and about.
interview lined up as well.
Yeah, we're going to do an interview on the yeah, there's actually loads happening. And then on Friday, oh my God, no, I'm buzzing about this, right? I'm just waiting to get the
Oh, Chloe, you don't
confirmation.
even know this, I don't think.
No, I told her.
Oh, did you?
I told her on Friday I'm going to be out and about on the Gold Coast. So if you're, will this podcast go up? Yeah, this will go up before then. So if you're out and about on the Gold Coast on Friday, I'm going to be out and about with CFM, the radio station, and we're going to be going out celebrating and giving out free tickets to the Bring Back My Wife tour, which is with Goody Events. So I think that's the first time I spoke about this. So sorry, I keep on saying Goody, it's not as Gowdy. Gowdy Events and Gowdy Agency is booking events, all that agency that represents like queer LGBTQ stars. So they have like a massive array of queens from Drag Race, from all the different franchises, singers from like different TV shows, entertainers, all that. And BB Amadeus is signed with them. I did tell you that. Did I speak about this?
I don't know, but clicks for that anyway.
Clicks for that. So shout out to them because I'm gonna be so that I'm gonna be working with CFM, going out giving free tickets and for this event, and it's gonna have they've got it's so good because they're gonna be doing it on the Gold Coast. They're going all over Australia, so make sure you go to Gowdy events and all that too, guys. To if you're in Australia to get some tickets, they've got Laganja, Stranja, Lux Noir London, Eureka O'Hara, Whitney Rose from Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'm going. I got tickets.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be good.
Whitney Rose from Salt Lake City and Teresa Giudice from New Jersey, which honestly clicks all down. How iconic! Oh my god, no, they have other. I feel like I'm missing someone. I'll put the poster up here so you can see everywhere that's going to be going. But fabulous anyway. That's all the updates for the news of what the fuck BB's up to this week.
I know. Guys, we've given Chloe a big screen and now she's very excited to show us all the things we're talking about as we're talking about them. So I'm also very excited.
Is that the iPad that's doing that?
Yeah. How good does that all look?
Oh shit.
Does look good, doesn't it, with the keyboard and all that shit? Alright, it's looking great.
So moving on to other fabulous news. Well, take back the fabulous.
Aye, revoke the fabulous news.
Fabulous.
But in other world
news that was been forced upon us that honestly nobody needs to know. Like, I feel like unless you're like a clothing brand or like, do you know what I love on social media right now? I love the fact of seeing the behind the scenes of who owns the businesses, like in terms of like small businesses and brands that are growing and like fun brands and all that. Mr. Amazon Jeff Bezos, we don't need to see your whole life. You should be one of the guys that should be rich as fuck in private.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not as if he's a businessman. Like, why are we celebritizing businessmen? Do you know what I mean?
But he is like probably no that I'm agreeing with Jeff Bezos by the way, but there's obviously a reason we know him. He's like, I don't even know what richest man he is in the world now because all the fighting with fucking Elon and all that. But
true.
Obviously, we're going to know about
anyway,
that guy because he is that next level of being rich.
Him and Miss Lauren Sanchez, obviously, everybody would have seen it. They get married this week, but what a disaster, guys. Honestly, Ocean, you didn't even realise. You said that they get married in Venice, which I still think they did get married in Venice, in Italy somewhere, but basically the main part that they...
Yeah, Venice is in Italy somewhere, correct?
But not in the original location. So I think it was like alleged that he spent like $38 million on renting out like that prime location in Venice. And obviously everybody was going ACA. I mean, they had no space with a spaceship for Bezos. Like all that, people were making like mannequins in the streets of fucking Italy and Venice. Not they were going bush space. It didn't happen. So it actually caused that much of a star that they ended up having to move it, and he ended up spending he spent $10 million on hiring ex-Marines and Navy SEALs as security and all that. It was crazy shit, but every single celebrity, cat and dog, was there. But I did see a lot of people talking, and I just find it very odd as well. Like, what does Kylie Jenner and Kendall Jenner have? Like, what possibly in common do they have apart from the billions of dollars in their bank accounts, etc., with like these mid-50s, probs nearly 60-year-old people like getting married?
I reckon that would be a family. I reckon that was just a family invitation.
Aye, they're all friends together. That's what I'm saying. But even like Sydney Sweeney was there.
Oh,
what has Sydney Sweeney got to do with Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez?
Well,
people were saying, so Lady Gaga and Elton John, they were the ones that were supposed to be performing at it, but Lady Gaga obviously did not perform at it. Did Elton John? I've not seen any videos of them.
Google.
Oh wait, maybe it was private, like maybe they didn't actually post it.
Google on the big screen.
Let's get the confirmation, Clo. But I Bezos, but Lady Gaga, people were saying that she was going to do it, and they offered her $6 million to do it, and she said no.
I mean, it might be funny, but she just actually sang to all the people in Brazil.
What happened was, and this comes from a girl on TikTok, and she said she had a good source, but we are still saying allegedly, obviously. But apparently, because she denied it, see, still at the wedding, they were still playing Lady Gaga, but they were using Spotify. I'm serious, off an iPhone. And she came Vogue, so they done a Vogue cover, which obviously she paid for. What is that carpet? See, this is what I'm saying. The carpet is last minute. I think that's given. We just had to move this
Scroll
last
up.
minute.
Just a look at his face. What an odd looking man. See, in particular, in that tuxedo, he looks like the Monopoly man if you just stuck a hat on him. Not mean? Very random looking man.
I just find it very odd. Like,
Well,
no
do
shade
you
to
know
him.
what
Like,
happened as well? Obviously, Orlando Bloom went, but Katy Perry didn't.
no,
they?
we'll get onto them in a minute, but that's what I was going to say. I know. See about this thing. They had the Vogue cover, and everybody's been saying, don't know if obviously true or false or not. So everybody was saying on this Vogue cover, they've obviously paid for that. There's no way Vogue is not that interested in Lauren Sanchez and Jeff Bezos enough to have on a Vogue cover. Like, she's no Kim Kardashian, she's no Nicki Minaj. Like, who gives an absolute hooters to her? Do you know what I mean?
How did they meet?
He basically, what happened was he was married to Mackenzie Bezos for like years. That's the woman he founded Amazon with and all that. They were together for years and years and years. Ended up coming out in a scandal allegedly that he was having an affair with a mistress, and the mistress was Lauren Sanchez. But obviously he's that rich, and I think it was a whole thing of like, well, now I need to basically stick with the mistress so it didn't just look as if I'm like a frivolous man that can't control myself. Like, this was true love. That's what it's getting painted out in the Vogue interviews and all the story of their love story. That's what it's kind of getting made out to be. Like,
It's actually about a messy meeting.
so Bezos says that like him and her are like basically the best team players together, like love each other to bits. They're like just a souls matched and do you know what I mean, matrimony type of shit.
The
Like,
size of that ring.
couldn't do life without one another type of thing, which honestly, do you know what I mean? If you want to
Look at
give
the
me a
size of
check
that
for that
ring,
Amazon Music, I'll take it. Thanks to Mr. Bezos.
Like,
but in
that's
terms,
knuckle to
I
knuckle
just think
ring.
obviously this is fabulous, but the day you need to do this when this is like both. I'm pretty sure this is his second time marriage. This is her third time marriage. There's no shade to people getting remarried, obviously, but do you need to go that big and rent out like days and days like for a big massive wedding? Like, would you know once they had a foam party like. This
so
is
that
giving.
bit in Gavin and Stacey.
We're reliving. Mate, phone party, mate, phone party. They're reliving their youth. They're living it up. But at the end of the day, I just think this could have all been done in private. Nobody
Do you think
wants
this
to
is
see
the
this.
rich man's
People
version
are
of pissing
skin
in a
tone.
lamppost?
I think this is like. I don't know if they were thinking that people were going to be. Do you know how with the Ambanis and all that, when the Ambani wedding happened and the whole world was just gagged over the Ambani wedding? But let's be real here. Obviously, yeah, there was a PR, like publicity strategy thing in place with their whole stuff, but they were just that rich and that shit was that gorgeous. They wouldn't even
I
care
think
less.
that was the grandeur of
think
the actual wedding.
The whole
and how
grandeur, that's
beautiful it was.
standard in India. For rich weddings in India, that's standard.
But it's so
obviously.
beautiful, isn't it?
But that was so beautiful, so stunning, so like just magical on another level that's why the whole world tuned in. Yeah, I think they've really tried to try to give off the same vibe as like Ambani, and I think they were thinking the whole world was going to be sitting there gagged, but it did not go down the same. Listen, so people were trying to slate her Dolce & Gabbana dress. I think it was Dolce & Gabbana or something. She looked gorgeous. Everything looked gorgeous. I'm no slating nothing about this. I think it's just the whole fact of like, world's in a bit of a crisis right now. We don't need to be seeing how billionaires live. And then also, I think as well, it was a pure downfall for the rest of like, see, for instance, Leonardo DiCaprio was there, but he clearly had a cap on trying to hide himself, but he can't be out here trying to like paint himself the last 10 years of his career as like the biggest humanitarian in the world, and he's all about saving the world and energy crisis and economy and that, when you're literally with Bezos, Amazon Bezos, like guy who's just constantly in the media for, do you know what I mean? For his businesses not doing ethical workplaces and all that.
I know.
How can you
And also sending space ships to space like unnecessarily, like all that stuff. Just all of it.
And then this week as well, poor Miss Katy Perry, guys. Honestly, this woman. Do you know what? I'm not going to be here for no Katy Perry slander, because end of the day, she has done her big one in the last 20 years of her
I
career.
know, she's just so I
Pure lassie. So she's
apparently her and Orlando, right, have obviously broke up. We know that anyway. So her and Orlando broke up. Apparently, he didn't actually enjoy a lot of the way she's been going on in the last year about like her wanting to go to space and just like the way it would be received by her fan.
Do you think he's sitting thinking like, oh, cringer? Like he's sitting a bit
I think he basically said, I'm pretty sure he said in an interview saying that she's just changed a lot in the last year. And then obviously in the last year, public perception of us also changed in terms of like her going to space, how that was received, like how her tours have been received.
Get like any more info up on the computer about this as well? I think like we'll find out more information.
But she's also pissed because that's her pals, no his.
Well, that's it. So she's there. He's there with them, living it up. She obviously isn't at the wedding because she is on tour. That's why she's not at the wedding. She's obviously making big bucks. Do you know what I mean? And everybody was trying to say that her tour was flopping, but every single video I've seen, it is packed out. Obviously, people were questioning
the
like
actual content, like the substance of the tour.
But you know what? At the end of the day, that is music and art. It is a bit fucking weird, and sometimes you're not going to understand it. And obviously, it is just a shame for Katy Perry because every single thing she's ever done for years before that was always smashing it. Obviously, and
But
then I
I'm
think
pretty sure
people started hating on her when she shaved her head. I feel terrible for her. Like,
he advised her against that last album as well.
did he? What advised her against the 143 one that she's on tour for just now? To be fair, like no shade to her, I've not. The only ones I've heard is like the two singles that were obviously really heavy promo to like Trisha
But I think
Paytas
that's the
and
thing.
that.
For me, when it comes to Katy Perry, just in terms of her actual music career, you see these like artists who have been in the music industry for a long term. They do somewhat adapt and change and like modernise and like keep it going in that sense. I feel like Katy Perry hasn't really been able to transition
I
into like
an older,
maybe like an older sense, like an older sound.
mature, not even like an older. It's just more like
Just
what is the
maturing.
mature version of Katy Perry? Do you know what I mean? Because we have been there where for the last 20 year of her, like more or less 20 years of her career.
I know,
So
but then who's left to listen to that? Because we went to see
I
her
think
right
it would have-
15 years ago. We're not going to necessarily go, oh, I'm going to stick on a Katy Perry from 15 years ago because they resonate with a different time in our lives.
what I do
Whereas
still
young-
do that.
No, I know, but like, no, like, say for example, right, take like Adele. There's tunes in that you can listen to pretty much any stage
It's
of your
timeless
life, and
music.
it's timeless music. Katy Perry's isn't really, and then it's not like it's hard to gain new fans on them songs because they've got
throws
so
you
much
back
more
to a
new
time.
choice as well, who are more relatable to them, who are more in tune with them as like people we were when she
Aye.
was first there to like our age.
I wish she'd obviously she's doing this whole concept with the game and all that on the thing, but I think it probably obviously we're no professionals at this, right? So guys, obviously we're just in this from our version, our perspective. Let's
A wee bit of gossip,
a
like,
wee bit of gossip, but I feel like it probably would have been a wee bit better if she'd done more of a take of living like an OG, like see like Taylor Swift's Eras tour. Obviously, has brought out this whole thing of like going through her whole discography and all that. I feel like it would have been more probably suited if Katy Perry had done some sort of like let's go back
especially
in
at
time
that age.
and go through all my hits because she's got absolute
She's got
bangers.
so many hits.
She could have just went out and done a full tour just banging out all the bangers. Let's take it back. Let's go do old school. Do you know what I mean? Let's go fucking Katy Perry 2005. Do you know what I mean? All that. And then just go through all the stages of that. And I think that
and
would have
people
probably
would
been
have
a
been
lot.
because people like would have went to see that.
It would have been the memorabilia. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I would have been
there's
there.
obviously a full market for like greatest hits tours.
It
Like,
is, but it's like
every artist does them, but
when you're doing a tour, when you're obviously the tour is like based around this new album, and obviously you're going to do a couple of our old songs and all that. But if the album's no smashing and everyone's no knowing every song and all that, you're gonna be a bit confused.
I know because you can't say that like that last Katy Perry album stands up to like even earlier. I walked in your bedroom and you were getting ready, and you had Renee Rapp on, and you were like, I fucking love this Renee
I
Rapp.
love
Like
her.
you saw like.
No.
But do you know what I mean? Like, there's so
Lady-
many like
Lady Renee
Lola
Rapp,
Young's
she
full
is-
album. Like all these people of like their modern pop girl albums, and Katy Perry's doesn't actually, in terms of like the quality of it, like live up to that now.
And I think as
So-
well, she is like obviously like as a mum and a mature. Like, what age is she? Maybe is she 40?
Yeah, I would say she's 40. Surely
in her 40s or yeah, she's in her 40s.
she's definitely in her 40s. So that's what I mean.
She's
Like
40 years old.
there you
I
go,
feel like
40-year-old.
it doesn't really hit the same of her talking about like
Why can't she sing about
because
stuff
even
that's
like
more
that song that
relevant
she
to her
done.
now?
See the song that she done with Dolce, and it's that I'm your freak, I'm your slut. Like a great song, but
Why is it Katy Perry's
are
song?
we wanting it for Katy Perry? But see, it's that is that, and it's going. If she, I don't know, if her music was more on the spectrum of
Take her voice and, like,
relating
grow
to
with it.
really, relating to what she's going through because she is like similar ages to like her mum and all that, a couple of years younger than mum, right? So it's like, what would a woman of her age be doing at this point in time in her life as a mother and all that?
Mhm.
Is that going? But to be fair, we've not listened to music, but it's like even like the sonic vision of the music, not just the actual words of it. Do you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
the actual, how does this music make you feel? Does it make you feel like you are going through that? Like, can she convey a story to you that is about a 40-year-old woman that has been a pop star
And you
for
can
20
still
years?
make happy pop music about being an older woman, especially since if you take her as the time like when this album came out, she'd been in a long time relationship with Orlando Bloom, had her first kid, plenty to write about that's happy and all that kind of stuff as well. It doesn't have to be
It's like
I'm
when you see
maturing, so I'm gonna sing emotional
Beyonce's
stuff.
Beyonce's just, I mean, she is just killing it out of the park right now with Cowboy Carter, and I think for her as well, people were obviously questioning, oh my god, like how's she going to do this so soon and all that because this album's not been out for that long, and then she obviously did win album the year with for country album, but with Beyonce's sound and all that too. Like she just is. You're way her on the journey. She can go back through all her songs, and you can see the growth of her as this person and women. Do you know what I mean? And
And
through
there's
the
still been
decades,
something that's distinctively her
and
about
it's
these
still
songs.
distinctively Beyonce, but it does very much change over the
and
years,
grow.
and it grows into something. And it grows into like her showing like right now, Way Cowboy Carter, her showing this type of like America was built on black people, and really, like, I mean, honouring that situation. She's like doing things that's for a purpose. Do you know what I mean? Whereas
Mhm.
this Katy tour hanging on that's going right, we're getting the album and all that, but what is this actually about? What
And
are you doing,
that's-
Katy? What is this? How can we connect this with your real life of who Katy Perry is?
So I think that leads on to the bigger picture of why people are starting to feel this disconnect with Katy Perry as well, because where you've just explained Beyonce's growth and journey perfectly, and like it kind of take like because she talks about things that have happened in her life, like with Jay-Z and all that through her
Aye.
songs, right? Katy Perry has kind of left out that substance from her songs for so many years, and then also as well in her personal life transcended into a completely different world from who she was at the start. Like the people she hangs around with, i.e. Jeff Bezos and Lauren
that's it.
Sanchez.
You see
So,
Katy
like-
Perry on the red carpet, and she would have been there. She'll be with Orlando Bloom, and she's there as
She's
a mother.
also
and
got
she
so
looks-
much
and
cash from
you
all
can
these
see
years.
her, and you can see it as a mum. Do you know what I mean? You can
I
see
know,
her as a
but what
pure
I'm
woman.
saying is, like, from a fan's point of view, that disconnect of like they've not been able to watch her go through all these things, still be herself, still be somewhat relatable. Because Beyonce's incredibly rich, but she still comes across somewhat relatable. Do you know what I mean in terms
like-
of her songs and her experience?
and
Katy
even the
Perry
vision,
doesn't-
the visual world that she puts
Katy
you in.
Perry doesn't give you that substance in her songs. Therefore, the fact that she's then actually unrelatable to 99% of the world because she's in a completely different stratosphere financially, and then she also doesn't let us relate to her in terms of her music and the substance in them. How can you expect people to keep getting on board with pop albums that are pretty meaningless when there is you're not asking people to sing about all these things that are happening in the world, but just the understanding that you can't keep on singing like California Girls your whole life and expect that people will still be there for it 20 years later when shit's happening. Like, know what I mean? There needs to be some sort of growth and development and change through that.
Clark
And then I
that.
think as well, clack that tea. And I think as well that like when you relate that back to what Orlando Bloom supposedly said, like and said like she's changed so much in the last year, that kind of just detachment from just being like a normal person and being able to express that and relate to that and like go into space and not understand, like actually physically not understanding how people wouldn't take that well given the circumstances actually on your own fucking planet. Like,
Absolutely.
know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So a lot happening in the Katy Perry world.
A
And
lot
obviously you
happening
feel
in the
sorry
Katy
for
Perry
her,
world. They feel I don't feel sorry for her because obviously we have no idea who she is. We don't know her single bit, but I just feel like a day. It is hard. It must be a hard pill to swallow to be such a popular favorite person for so many years, and probably I'd say for the last 5 years, obviously everything she has put out is received well with her core amount of fans. Obviously, do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Like those core
But
people.
she
and that,
also
but-
took like a fairly decent break from music when she was filming all the Idols or whatever it was that she was. What did she film again?
Oh, American Idol.
So that
So Prism was we were just looking back there. Prism was the 2013 album that she released, and that's the tour in 2014 that we went and seen, which that was peak Miss
that was
Katy Perry
peak Katy
era.
Perry.
Guys,
Fact.
I think I've already told you this before anyway, but I dressed up on the Monday of that week I had Miley Cyrus, so I dressed up in the full teddy bear costume from the MTV, you know, with the thumb, the foam finger and all that. Dressed up Miley Cyrus for that, and then Katy Perry, I literally dyed a purple a white t-shirt made into a bodysuit, super glued it together, dyed it purple, put KP and stones across it, and had I bought £50 worth of peacock feathers off eBay and glued them to the back of it. Because see when she done that movie with Netflix,
The way you said that whole thing without one breath ended it
do you
with
know?
£50 on eBay. Peacock feathers stuck to
No,
my
because I was hoping she was gonna get me backstage. That's what I thought. But obviously
What,
we weren't
because
in.
was that around that wasn't even Flossie time. That was before. That was
No,
before
way
Floss.
before that. No, because remember she always done the movie, and in the movie she would get people up on stage and all that. I feel like
Alright,
cool.
so
So
you
I thought
watched
to
the movie
myself,
and
I just
thought-
knew. I said, no, I'm not going normal.
Sis,
what
we
the
were in
fuck?
the nosebleeds.
We were in the, that's what I was gonna say. We were in the nosebleed. So honestly, I was shaking my tail feathers all the way at the top, man. I was
The only
hoping-
guy that could see you was the second.
I know.
Letting people
She did actually get somebody up to say happy birthday to her. I
13.
was fucking fuming. 14, 13, yeah, 13.
13,
fuming.
because I would have been
No, because
15.
Gracie was crying her eyes out on Christmas Day when we got the tickets, man. My mum. Do you know what's pure mad? I've never been to a concert that I paid. Oh, wait, no, talk shite. Actually, I went to Lana Del Rey. Apart from Lana Del Rey. Was it not? Wasn't it Lana Del Rey? It was
You know about
Florence
Lana
and the
Del Rey?
Machines.
I'm like, what are you on about?
Same side, indie emo chick, but it's also pure
Either
popular.
way, Mum really pulled through the tickets.
She always pulls through a good ticket. And I went to Beyonce twice because Mum got me tickets the week before, like managed to get them off for someday.
I went to the Killers. That was big slay.
Honestly, so grateful for that because every single time Beyonce was honestly such a dream when I went to her. Like she could never explain the feeling that she puts out in that crowd. Like when I perform, I honestly just speak to the gods and say, please give me some sort of even ounce, 1% of what Beyonce can give, and I will do okay on this stage. But hope you're okay. Get to your bed. Get to your bed. Hope you're okay, Miss Katy Perry. We love you, girl. You're still always going to slate in our eyes. You're always going to be an icon. Nobody can ever take that away from her, and that's that.
So
Do you know
that
what
was
I mean?
Prism, and I can hand on heart say that was probably the last good the album she had.
Because the other two after that clock that. Oh, Chloe has some shit to say.
I've just got some statistics here, guys. So Prism sold millions of copies, like 3 million copies. Witness, which came out in 2017, it didn't even sell 1 million copies. No, it gets worse. Smile didn't even sell 100,000 copies. Oh my God. But 143 sold 100,000 copies in the
So
US.
this was right. So obviously the Prism was KP. We'll just call her KP as we know, right?
No,
And
my
then
queen.
Witness. This was a track list for Witness. Now the only song you can remember is literally Swish Swish, Hey Hey Hey, Roulette, Swish Swish, which was fucking horrendous. Let's face it. That little Flossie man got it trending a little
Nicki
bit.
Minaj spot some bars on that.
And she did a little bit. Deja Vu, Power, Mind Maze, Miss You More, Chained to the Rhythm.
Oh,
Wait,
Chain to the
wasn't
Rhythm's an
Chained to the Rhythm?
absolute tune. Chain to the Rhythm is a tune.
Is that a tune or is it you just comes in your
No,
playlist? 'cause you
Chain
listen
to the
Apple
Rhythm
Music?
is a gay anthem, and I'll have none otherwise.
Right, okay. Tsunami, Bon Appetit. Wasn't
Bon
that?
appetit, baby. Oh, wait, no. Right, we might be Katy Perry fans. No, we are Katy Perry fans. We are Katy Perry fans. So we might know
Save
more.
As Draft, Pendulum, and Into Me, You See. I don't know what that song is. So that
Into
was
me, you see.
so that was like a half decent album, hence the 300,000 copies. I don't want to even Google the set list for Smile because
So regardless, Miss KP is always going to be an icon. She still's always going to be that bitch. But do you know
I
that's
just
the
think
thing?
maybe
It
just
doesn't
get
matter what
outside.
happened. She got Russell Brand. I mean, of all people, Gads.
Oh,
Literally,
yuck,
Gads, major Gads, major
yuck,
Gads.
yuck.
He broke up. That's all right. That actually looks good. He broke up with her by text. Literally about 5 minutes before she went on stage, and what did that hoe do? She got her fucking wig on. She got that in-ear strapped in, and
Never mind
zipped
what
up
kind of
on
man
her
Russell
dress
Brand
and
is.
went on that stage. Exactly.
Yuck.
She probably thought to herself, "Thank fuck."
Honest.
Speaking of some crazy mother shit that's been going down this week, guys, is MD been watching Baddies Africa on this network. I mean, we love it, we hate it, we still watch every single week. Do you know what? It's been crazy. Oh my god, no, the tea is Rolly is not coming back for next season. She is done with them. She is like fully slagging them all off on the internet
Oh,
as
so
well.
she's put the full stop in. Like she's like, I'm done.
She says I'm done, and then she started promoting this new show that she's going to be doing on another network, like a pure one of those nobody networks. It's just copying this type of shit. But yeah, that's exactly what's happening. They are Baddies Africa this week has just been crazy. I actually love.
Fact, they're going to have a big lawsuit in their hands one day.
Do you know what? It's
Absolute
been
fact.
much more peaceful without Summer on it. But these last few episodes, I love the
Yeah,
new,
but
I
can
love
we
the new
discuss the
girls.
fact
But
that's why Summer isn't on it? Like this
Yeah,
in
true.
itself is a blooming lawsuit waiting to happen. Here's me trying not to swear.
So basically, Summer off camera, then they were leaving the club. Some like what's been told on the internet is that Summer she's a pure loudmouth on this show, right? Just yap. Even off camera, she's yap, right? Apparently, she's been actually steaming, and one of the security guards,
She spit on him.
she spat in the security guard's face, and then the security guard ended up literally like smashed
Beating her
her,
up.
beating her up, right? Like so, literally the fact she's not been on like episodes and episodes, which horrific. Anyway, I'm no actually defending this guy at all. I cannot stand Summer, and I think to myself, at what point? What is that lassie? And I'm no defending that guy putting his hands on a women at all. But at what point does that lassie got to understand her lesson? But because this is not even the first time this happened. There's been so many backlash on the internet too, and comments and things that happened prior to this outside of Baddies and all that too, where Summer doesn't actually. It's like how can you expect to be spitting on folk, spitting on guys and all that, and somebody know to actually end up turning around and just smacking you in the face? Like,
I know.
obviously, doesn't accept going, this is a TV show, this person works with
For
security.
me, just
that
have a
show.
duty of care.
They
over
have a
both of
duty
them,
care on the side of it.
because they need to recognise where she's crossing the line in terms of how she's treating their
Because they're just
staff.
letting her act
And
in
then
this.
she also they also have a duty of care over her in terms of how their staff, like, because at the end of the day, the security had had to keep the girls safe. So even if she's been like that to you, your job's to take it then to the network's job's to take care of her. Like, it should never. But that's
Do
what
they
I mean.
have a
It
HR
I don't know,
department?
but it should just never be at the point where tensions are that, because that's what we've got to speak about, right? That he's trained in a security manner. He's not going
He's
to lose
obvious-
his flip over one girl doing this to him one time. This is obviously a build up of situations where the tensions filming that show are at such peak and boiling points because they're constantly on edge around each other. Their flight or fight's constantly activated around each
Exactly.
other. So to the point for this to be boiling over that much that she can spit and then he can lash out like that is unbelievable. Like, a lack of duty of care from Zeus for both of them, for client, like for talent and for security,
Yeah.
because it's
That's what does
outrageous that
concern me.
she shouldn't be in the position where
She thinks it's alright
yeah,
to be able to
because
do that.
one, you should be able to recognise that she's constantly breaking boundaries. Two, if everyone's tensions are at that point, and you know this chick is constantly breaking boundaries anyway, then you shouldn't be put in a position where she's around all these people, never mind all the girls that want to fight with her constantly, and all the security then that she's going to belittle and assault into, and then they're going to
Exactly.
lash back. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, so it's a lack of duty of care on all fronts in that sense. Like, I don't know. I think they're going to have a massive lawsuit in their hands at one point, because one of these days, one of them girls is going to hit them and either hit them the wrong way, hit them and they fall into something the wrong way. Somebody's going to get actually properly seriously injured.
That's what happens.
And then what have they done realistically? What have they done to make that show safer over the years? Because when I'm watching it,
It's
all
just
the
got
seasons
worse.
that you've watched, it's just get worse. They've actually thrived on them beating each other up, doing each other in.
But that's the thing I think as well. Like, I really love the new girls that have joined. So there's like Fana, Cold Killer, and Katy.
They seem like they would thrive on a show where they went scrapping each other.
But then that's
Like,
the
do you
thing
know what
too.
I
That's
mean?
what
Like,
annoys me, because
personality-wise,
I
they
actually
seem
love
sound.
those girls. I think they're really lovely girls. I think they're actually funny. They can fight and stand up for themselves. No, that. But
I think
it's
there's a
never
lot of girls on
unwarranted.
that are sound.
It's never like they're doing it just for the sake of it. That Dolly is actually.
She
really
is just scrapping.
She just wants to fight for. She's like, yeah, clock it. You're not standing on nothing. You're a pain in the ass. Like, I can never even imagine like what. And what world do you think it's cool? Like, you're literally black and blue every day, and it's not even as if nobody's even provoking her to be black and blue. Like, you're literally getting started in a fight so that it's good camera time or whatever. For what? You look shocking. Like, you look shocking. It's folk like Tasiki. Tasiki looks as if she's thriving off the show. She came off the show, but she did fine, go absolutely
Ivory
crazy.
looks great this season.
Ivory looks great. I love Ivory. Do you know what?
Love
when
Ivory.
when Ivory first started, and I feel terrible for even saying this, when she first started, I didn't like, from what I'd seen on the internet from Now That's TV, and I don't think Now That's TV put the women in any great light at all, because I did not really like what I was seeing with Ivory, and I was thinking, like, what's going on here? But they've gave her a good platform for her to be able to come on. She isn't a bully to people. She does stand up for people, and
She stands
does,
up for herself. For me, with
I think
Ivory,
she-
I honestly God think that there's somebody that's got such a sweet and soft soul, an actual like proper personality on her, but just because of upbringing, because of environmental things, put them in them situations where you're constantly provoking them, as I said, to the edge, and then letting somebody like her fight. Like, obviously she's going to fight, but it really resonated
And
with
I think
me
Diamond
in one
the Body
episode.
as well. Her and Diamond the Body love
But
the
there was one point in this episode, like in this season, where in fact it might have been the reunion actually from last season, where Ivory was like, I don't know if they were flinching, they were trying to make out that she was just going to beat everybody up and go through them. She's like, I'm sick of you constantly making out that,
That
this
made
is
me
all I
sad.
am. She's like, this is not all I am. You're constantly trying to fight me, so then I'm going to fight you back. But don't make it like I'm some sort of beast that comes here just to wreck the place.
I
Like,
think she does have more of a masculine personality, and
But
she's
she's still-
gay. Like, she's a gay woman as well.
Is she?
Aye,
I never
she's got a
actually
girlfriend
even
and all
knew that.
So that's the
But
thing. She does
like,
have more.
but she's got so much more to her than that. And then
Exactly.
finally this season, I feel like we've got to see that. And I feel the same for a lot of these girls. So many of them have got so much more to show than just how much they can scrap. But because they cast enough of these ones to provoke enough of this shit, then all they do is scrap because they've all got that side to them. But it's not there. Do you know what I mean? So
I would
it
really
just-
hope that hopefully at one point the seasons do change and it does actually, like, they are able to, like, kind of move on for this. And it's like, obviously you are going to lose a lot of followers, that of a lot of viewers that aren't wanting to tune in for that shit. But at the end of the day, like, where is your moral compass got to lie when these women are coming off a show? No other show wants to take them. Like, oh, well, to be fair, not no other show, because there has been like House of Villains and other TV shows that have taken them. But if you're coming on, your only asset is that you're on Baddies, punching and fighting every 2 seconds. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, like Anna Mac, for instance, amazing singer, and that sing as well. Like, doesn't ever get the recognition to deserve. She's on there because she's got like, she is really entertaining and an amazing singer too. Like, she can talk the talk as well.
Yeah.
But where do you ever see her music on the show? Like, where do you ever see any of that stuff
They've
happen? Same
completely
with Biggie.
lost that aspect, really. Like, and that's the thing.
Like the club
you
hosting
can
a 5
have
seconds
shows where
long.
people fight and like take like Draw the Show, for example. Prime example of being able to go out. Their whole thing was like going out, obviously doing the fake work thing. But they go out, entertain, and then sometimes they did get in fights, but overall there was a lot more to it storyline wise
because
than
they had
just fighting.
good personalities.
Because they had the personalities and they could do more than just that. They took them on day trips that the people actually enjoyed. Whereas the day trips are about fighting, and the house is about fighting, the clubs is about what tension is going to build up and what fights are going to happen.
Exactly.
Like, if fighting's your only aspect, that is going to run dry. So for me, it's ran dry a long time ago, but it's going to run dry so quickly. And realistically, how are you meant to scale it and get bigger? Who's sponsoring Baddies? Who's going to sponsor Baddies? Who's going to sponsor Baddies?
That's what I wonder,
Do you know
because
what-
we're
do you know what I mean, though,
Lemmy and that have like talked about like different aspects of investors and all that. I'm like,
Who's investing?
in that?
Who's investing in that? And then also for me, obviously, clearly not a black person. But see, if I was a black person and I was watching that, I'd go, "Is this the only like this is the biggest form of representation they have in the media? Is something like this, and that's what they're representing us as? Like, surely not."
Well,
Do
it
you know
was
what
like,
I
see,
mean?
when they done the reunion and when Young Miami was on it, obviously Young Miami's got a whole other thing to her as well. But even when Young Miami looked absolutely like, she looked gagged what was happening, like not in a good way, I think, and she left. She wasn't on like the not the reunion, sorry, the auditions. She was only there like for looked as if she was only there for a few hours, like, and then she was out of there because I think to myself, like, obviously they
They've
must
all
be tempted
became
by the
numb
amount
to
of
it,
money.
but that's not normal.
But I think she was like, catch me, I catch you after. I don't think she was wanting to be there for much longer.
Nah.
I think she was like, what is actually
Like,
going
all
on here?
them girls that became normalised to like just seeing people absolutely
That's the
unloading
thing,
each
Summer-
other, like scrap each other
Summer's
like that.
always
That's not
been-
normal.
Summer's
Like-
always been praised for bad behaviour. Like, Summer got on the show because she was that girl at the auditions that snuck Mariah from the side of the door.
Yeah.
That girl jumped out and done that.
She's
So that was
always
her.
been rewarded for bad behaviour. So then why is she not going to act like that? Do you know
But
what I mean?
Mariah Lynn was actually at a pride event. I think it was in Chicago. Maybe it was in. Oh my god, the crowd was going actually crazy for her, like going crazy. They loved her. I love her, and I thought, you know what, you go for it, dog. You get up there. And, yeah, once upon a time, not long ago, I was a hoe. And I'm admitting it. I can't take you back, I did it. So good for her. I thought she's actually thriving, and I love the person that I think that is the hook on the thing. Like, the actual show concept is foul, but you do actually get quite engrossed with the girls of actually liking the girls personally. Like, no, you do want to see them do good.
I
And
think
even-
they've got to show more of the girls and show more of the personalities and actually the talents.
I think if there was they get booked for these clubs every week, right? And they're there going to these clubs. Majority of all the girls are artists in some way and all that. Why is there not an aspect of the show where these girls are rehearsing and prepping and getting ready for these shows and actually showing out for their performances, putting effort in, and not just grabbing a mic and singing a couple of words of their song? Like,
After
actually
fighting all day.
putting on an entertainment show. No, like, no, just like Jocelyn's Cabaret, because Jocelyn's Cabaret is I think a different aspect. You can still, I think there's still enough difference in both those shows for them to be like, these girls are going out here doing their shit, but everyone's performing themselves. And then there's Jocelyn's Cabaret on there that it's Jocelyn as the main bitch, and
Mhm.
all these girls are backup dancers. So it's like, you could still defos have both of them things
And
going.
as well, if the show wasn't only known for people scrapping and like the unsafe like kind of environment, why couldn't Baddies run their own festivals with all these girls?
You could make it exactly.
Do you get me?
Exactly. And
Like,
that's
they
the
could
thing.
have festivals, they could do all, they could be filming during all of this and going and doing all this and club appearances and all that. But the show is realistically just about people punching each other now.
Mhm.
Like, and that's kind of sad because there's so much more. And realistically, wouldn't there be so much more upturned like financially wise for Zeus to not have this show just be about
Well, that's
scrapping each
it.
other?
It just has the money, the money, the connections, and all that for these women to be out here on the show making proper music. And they have recording studios and all that at the Zeus headquarters where they record loads of the girls' music and all that. So why is that no getting like intertwined into the making of this and all that? And actually, see, when Natalie Nunn's always going on about, we make stars in the show, we make stars in the show. Well, actually make fucking stars. Don't just make pretend fighters. Like, they have nothing else to go for them. Like, actually help these people get their career on the go. Like, how are, like, do you know what I mean? I don't know. I would love to see them. How would they actually got, like, what are you doing to be able to, like, push your lives? Like, obviously, there will be drama. Like, see if they're all filming mute. See, for instance, if the season, for example, was like them going to music videos and them going and organising shit like that, having to put on or oh, I just thought of a great idea. What if it was them all organising these shows together, but they would all have to still work together to put on this show? There's still going to be a massive drama, fights a lot. But see, at the end of the day, these women all having to put on a show, like vision wise, how's it going to look, organising the sets, all that shit. If you were to give this task to these women, it would cause drama, but I'm sure that would be a great outcome as well. And you'd be able to watch them, but like, yes, that's them. Like, they all have talent. They all can rap. They can all sing. They can all do all that stuff. But what is happening here? We're getting wigs snatched off.
We're getting out of an hour episode. We're getting a 10-minute what happened last time, a 10-minute what's happening next time,
and then
Dolly, 30 minutes of
like
scrapping.
That last episode. Dolly's literally starting a full fight off camera because one of the new girls was getting her wig and makeup done before her. Like, get a grip. Like, that shouldn't even be a storyline. Like, it shouldn't even be a storyline.
But it just shows there's no other substance in the show right now to fill it up.
Exactly.
Anyway, guys, that'll wrap us up for
That'll wrap us up for today. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed watching this, of course, give it a subscribe, share it with your friends. 5 stars on Spotify, Apple Music, all that. And yeah, make sure you come back next week and we'll see you again. Love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.